We welcome you one and all here. So we have about 17 participants here. So which tells all of us are curious to know something new. So this Journey of a Civilization, written by Mr. Balakrishnan IAS. This book is well known among the Tamil people. So this is a very important milestone in understanding the Tamil civilization. This book talks about what is the connection between Indus Valley people and the Tamil people. So in this forum, we have 3 years back, to be precise, 3 years back, we have started reading this book, Journey of a Civilization book. And upon completing reading the book, we have continued to continue to exchange many information in this WhatsApp group. And 2024 happened to be the centenary year of Indus Valley Civilization announcement. So we had some celebrations in this group as well. So we have heard talks on genetics by Professor Raj Muttarasan. Also, we had done a detailed reading forum on the book Early Indians by Tony Joseph. And then now we have taken up this book by Peggy Mohan. So why is this book important as follows? In order to understand a civilization, archaeology is important. Similarly, we should also know what is the genetic connection of the people and also what is the linguistic nature of the people, or what is the language used by the people, and what are their cultural traditions. So this book serves as a very good repository to understand how the languages in South Asia has evolved or has been is architected. So last week we started with the first session, and today we have the second session. In order to introduce our speaker, Mr. Alagiriswamy, may I invite Mr. Mani Manivannan to make the formal introduction of the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Bama. I'm going to do this introduction in Tamil because I'm assuming that almost everybody knows Tamil. Thiru Ma Alagirisamy, தஞ்சாவூரை சேர்ந்தவர், முதுநிலை விலங்கியல் MSc டிகிரி இன் ஜுவாலஜி படித்தவர், 17 ஆண்டுகள் முதுகலை பட்டதாரி ஆசிரியர் பணி, 14 ஆண்டுகள் அரசு மேல்நிலைப் பள்ளி தலைமை ஆசிரியர் பணி, பின்பு பதவி உயர்வு பெற்று மாவட்ட தொடக்க கல்வி அலுவலராக பணியாற்றி ஓய்வு பெற்றவர். மாவட்ட தொடக்க கல்வி அலுவலராக பணியாற்றிய போது மாநில செஞ்சிலுவை சங்கத்தின் மூலம் மாவட்ட கல்வி அலுவலருக்கான விருது பெற்றவர். பன்னாட்டு அரிமா சங்கங்கள் சார்பில் சிறந்த ஆசிரியருக்கான விருது பெற்றவர். 70 வயதாகும் இவர் ஒரு யூடியூபர். தமிழ் தொன்மை மீது ஆர்வம் கொண்டவர். அது சார்ந்த செய்திகளை படிப்பது, சேகரிப்பது மற்றும் அறிஞர்களின் இணைய வழியிலான உரைகளை தனது யூடியூப் ஓடையில் வெளியிடும் இவர் ஒரு சீரிய பெரியார் பற்றாளர் என்பது குறிப்பிடத்தக்கது. இன்று இவர் பெகி மோகனின் நூலில் 2வது அத்தியாயமான தென்னக மேட்டு நிலம், இருளும் ஒளியும் கலங்கும் வேளை, மருள் மாலை ஒளி, The Deccan as a Twilight Zone என்ற தலைப்பில் உரையாற்ற வருகிறார். திரு அழகிரிசாமி அவர்களை உரையாற்ற அழைக்கிறேன்.
நீங்களே ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா, நான் ஷேர் பண்ணணுமா?
ஓகே. இப்ப தெரியுதா?
இன்னும் தெரியலீங்களே, ஷேர்
தெரியலையா? ஒரு நிமிடம்.
உங்களுக்கு கீழே உங்க ஸ்கிரீன் கீழே ஷேர்னு ஒரு பட்டன் இருக்கும் பாருங்க.
அந்த பட்டன் சில சமயங்கள்ல என்ன ஆகும்னா, நீங்க மேல மவுஸ் மூவ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா தான் பாப்பப் ஆகிற மாதிரி கீழே இருந்து வரும்.
இல்ல, நான் ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருமாங்க ஐயா.
நான் வந்துட்டேன்.
நீங்க கீழே நான் பேசுறேன்னா என் முகம் தெரியுதுங்களா? அது கீழே மைக் அன்மியூட் பண்ணுவீங்க பாருங்களேன். அது பக்கத்துல கீழ் வரிசையில பாருங்க.
ம்
யாரு
வந்துட்டேன்.
பேர் தெரியுதோ அது கீழ் வரிசையில பாருங்க.
ம்
பச்சையா மேல் நோக்கி அம்புக்குறி ஒண்ணு தெரியும் பாருங்க.
மணி அது சில சமயங்கள்ல என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, அது மவுஸ் அந்த ஸ்கிரீன் மேல ரோல் பண்ணாதான் அது பாப்பப் ஆகி கீழே இருந்து வருது. இல்லைன்னா கீழே போய் அது ஹைட் ஆயிடுது.
Sorry
அதுதான்.
for that. We will
ஆ,
conduct
இல்ல
the
இல்ல
session
இல்ல
in
இல்ல
English
கொஞ்சம் இருங்க.
only.
இதுல ஒன் பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட் கேன் ஷேர் அட் a டைம். வேற
Yeah.
யாரும் ஷேர் பண்ணல, நீங்க தாங்க பண்ணணும். பகிரலாங்க.
Can I share, yeah?
ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
Hmm?
ஆமா.
Okay.
ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
So
ஃபுல்
the
ஸ்க்ரீன் போடுங்க.
session will be in English only. Don't worry about it since there's a small technical glitch. Yes, start.
யா
ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் போடுங்க.
ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
Bama has started screen sharing. Double click to enter full screen mode.
இப்போ I will
இல்ல
put it in.
மல்டிபிள் ஸ்க்ரீன் போட்டுங்க.
Is it connected to my external monitor? Is it better now? Once again, let me do it again because it was connected to my external monitor.
ம்
Still, I cannot see the screen.
Because
Now it's okay. Now it's coming.
but something hanging for me. Once again.
Okay.
வருதாப்பா ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீனு?
வந்துருச்சா? You are all able to see?
இல்லைங்க பாமா,
ஆ?
இப்போ வந்து browser பேஜ் தெரியுதா? நான்
இப்ப வருது.
ஓகே.
Think you can go ahead. I will maximize this as much as possible. The screen.
இப்போ ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
ஷேரிங்ல எனக்கு உங்க இது வந்து இதாகுது. ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
மல்டிபிள் ஷேரிங் கொடுங்களா? எனக்கு அந்த ஷேர் ஆப்ஷன் வர மாட்டேன்.
இல்ல உங்களுக்கு கோஹோஸ்டா போட்டிருக்கு. You should be able to share. I am facing some problems.
இப்போ வருதா?
Yeah. பண்ணிட்டீங்க.
Now it's okay.
ஓகே, இப்போ ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் போடுவீங்களா?
F5 press பண்ணுங்க.
F5 கொடுத்துட்டா வர மாட்டேன்.
Bottom right cornerல you have this 3 symbols, right? அதுல அந்த funnel மாதிரி இருக்க சிம்பலை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. Bottom right. Bottom right. அதுல அந்த 3 symbol on that symbol. Please click on it.
ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் வரலையே.
Let's go ahead with this.
ஓகே, வந்துட்டா? ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் வந்துட்டா? அப்ப
இல்ல நீங்க you just go ahead. இது வந்து it's visible வந்து.
இப்போ ஆஃப் தெரியுதா?
இல்ல சரியா தான் தெரியுது. நீங்க ஆரம்பிங்க.
பிரசன்டேஷன் மோட்ல இல்ல அது. அதுக்கு இங்க ரைட் மோஸ்ட்ல நீங்க இந்த இது கீழே பாட்டம் பட்டன் இருக்கும் பிரசன்ட். அது அந்த ஸ்லைடு மாதிரி ஒரு இது பட்டன் இருக்கு, அதை பிரஸ் பண்ணுங்க.
content
100%.
ஃபுல்லா பார்க்கக்கூடிய மாதிரி தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ யூ கேன் கோ ஹெட்
ஆமா பரவாயில்ல.
ப்ரொசீட் பண்ணுங்க. யா நீங்க
ஆமா
இப்போ
லெஃப்ட்
வருதுல்ல
சைடுல இருக்கிற மெனு தட்டி தட்டி போகலாம். வி
ஆமா
கேன்
அவ்வளவுதான்.
see all the screen.
ஆமா
Yeah,
பரவாயில்லைங்க.
this is readable.
இப்போ ஸ்க்ரீன் மாறுதா?
இல்ல மாறல.
ம்?
You're on your first screen, your title screen.
ம்.
ஐயா நான் ஷேர் பண்றேன்.
இப்போ வந்துடுச்சா?
Is it all visible to everyone?
இன்னும் வரலைங்க. இப்போ வருது. ரைட்.
Now it's
சரி.
on full screen.
ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் வந்துட்டா?
Yes, it is.
Now it is full screen. Now it's
நான்
full screen.
மாத்துறேங்க ஐயா. நான் தான் ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். நீங்க சொல்லும் போது நான் மாத்துறேன்.
ஓகே
ப்ளீஸ் கண்டினியூ.
ஓகே. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி ஃபாதர் டங் மதர்லேண்ட் பெகி மோகன் அவர்கள் எழுதிய நூலினுடைய இரண்டாவது உரை. முதல் உரை வந்து சுவாமி அவர்கள் பேசினாங்க போன செஷனில். இப்போ இரண்டாவதாக இன்னொரு சாமி பேசுகிறார். இந்த ஃபாதர் டங்
Make it
மதர்லேண்ட்
in English because we have non-Tamil speaking audience as well. The kind request.
ஓகே. இப்போ இந்த புத்தகத்தினுடைய அவங்க என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க, அடுத்தது மாற்றலாம். பெகி மோகன் அவருடைய புத்தகத்தினுடைய முதல் சாப்டரை ஏற்கனவே ஆல்ரெடி பேசிட்டாங்க. இந்த நூலில் there are 8 chapters. The road within, the Deccan as a Twilight zone, the taming of the English dragon in search of language X, across the Sangam, the Dravidian dreamline, a chimera on the northern rim, and the return of the Tiramisu bear. So these are the 8 chapters in the book. We are going to cover the second chapter. Even then, what we have covered in the first chapter, only few points I want to highlight, because the first session, some of our friends might have missed the first session. So I want to highlight 1 or 2 points. Then I will come again the Deccan as a Twilight zone. So in this book, Father Tongue, Motherland, Peggy Mohan presents the whole model of language change in our land as well as in other parts of the world where languages met and merged. Trinidadian Creole English, that is in West Indies, is a good campus to hold on to for the journey into the language evolution in the Indian subcontinent. Trinidadian Creole, in its evolution, it shares its vocabulary with standard English. Creoles are mixed languages that came up in Caribbean during the time of slavery, when Africans were forcibly transported as labor to the Caribbean sugar estates. Creole had vocabularies drawn from English and other European languages like French, Dutch, and Portuguese. Both men and women were in these colonies. So, Pidgin Creole theory. So, in Pidgin Creole theory, the European parent was just a sperm donor, providing the words for the new language, and the African parent, the mother, actually incubating the new life form and supplying the grammar into which all the new words fit. The difference between these two. Mohan, a professor of linguistics, says that there is a ecological complementary division between Creoles and Pidgins. The Creoles typically emerged in plantation settlement colonies, whereas pigeons emerged in trade colonies or whaling ships or hunting ships, whale hunting ships rather. The difference between Creole and pigeons, according to Mohan, is not in their actual structure but in the histories. So, according to Emmanuel Dreschel, a linguist who lives in Hawaii, explains about an early pidgin, Maritime Polynesian pidgin, MPP, was spoken by the sailors who plied all the way from New Zealand to the Canadian west coast. Pigeons are sterile. Why and how? Hawaiian sugar estates were full of men, not at all women. No women at all. Just conditions for the pigeon to emerge. The difference between pigeons and creoles is that pigeons are sterile. They are unable to generate a community of native speakers as they are male phenomena and by very nature temporary. Pidgin speakers did go back to their families and in between the trips and their old languages and continue their real lives. So now we come to the second chapter. The Deccan is a Twilight zone. So as we all know about Deccan, even then I want to find out one or two points about Deccan. So Deccan refers to Deccan plateau. It refers to a large triangular shaped plateau in South India covering a vast area south of the Narmada River and extending over states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. The distinctive landscapes are bounded by Satpura and Vindhya mountains to the north and Western Ghats to the west, Eastern Ghats mountains to the east. So this is the map showing the early Deccan language. It covers the languages area. That is Marathi, Telugu, and Kannada areas. So these areas got by early Deccan language. So girls students from Hyderabad speak Deccan language in Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, hostels in Uttar Pradesh. Because this Muslim university is a very rare phenomenon. They admit private students to sit for their school final examinations there. So the girls who are present themselves for the examination candidates, they used to speak Deccani. Some call it Hyderabadi Urdu, but it is different from Urdu of North India. In Deccani, the expressions like mere ko na ko, it means I don't want this. I don't want this. So mere ko means literally to me, yanakku. In colloquial Delhi Hindi, mere ko means yanakku. Hindila ko என்று வருது, mere ko என்று வருது Hindila, Deccaniல mere ku என்று வருது. Nako means no. Nako means no, illai. It is a Marathi word because much of what is now Maharashtra was once a part of Deccan. More about Merakun Neko. Most glaringly missing from this sentence, Merakun Neko, is the verb. So verb is missing. The verb to be in present tense sentences is left out in Dravidian languages. Deccani here is behaving like a South Indian language, but not a North Indian language. So, but words are close enough to North Indian Urdu words. Calls in Deccani. Deccani is full of calls from Telugu. A Dravidian language is spoken in Deccan region of India, as we all know. Calls are phrases. What are calls? Calls are phrases as if they first thought in one language and then translated literally into another. For example, keyboard. It is an English word, we know. It is translated into Tamil as Visai Palagai. Key means Visai, board means Palagai. So, பொருளுடன் மொழி மாற்றம் செய்வது போல தெலுங்குல இருக்கக்கூடிய சொற்கள் கால்ஸ் என்றும் பொருளுடன் மாற்றம் செய்யப்படுகிறது. As in the case of keyboard into Visaipalai. The Telugu calls in Deccan are more letters and oblivious of standard Urdu grammar, or these calls do not follow the Urdu grammar at all. Urdu came to India. When Urdu came to India, Urdu came up as a dialect of Delhi, and it must have been established as a local vernacular by year 1206. This was the year the Central Asians arrived and set up Delhi Sultanate. In its early days, this language was not yet called Urdu. It was called Delavi, even Hindi. It took barely a century for this dialect to spread to south. So Muslim state in Deccan. By year 1347, Deccan region became as independent Muslim state under Bahmani Sultanate. Men from Turkey, Central Asia, Ethiopia and Iran migrated here without their women folk and happily to settle down with local wives. This was the same pattern we have seen in all other major migrations in the subcontinent and era of mixed families. Even among the ruler wives were the speakers of local language and men folk as speakers of the language they brought with them. The language arrived with Sultanate forces in the Deccan was Delavi. So now Delavi arrived. This language put down local roots and took on features of Marathi, Kannada and Telugu and came to be known as Deccani, Dakni, Dakhani or Dakhani. So Deccani becomes the native language of Muslim community. How? Dakhani soon became the native language of the Muslim community that sprang up in the entire Deccan. Many local people and speakers of Marathi, Kannada, Telugu and Tamil converted to Islam. They took on the new language brought by the Northerners. They held on the sounds and grammar of old languages of South India as long as they could remember. So hypothesis of Peggy Mohan. When Peggy Mohan expects to find in the mixed languages is that the earlier local languages, that is in the maternal stream, will prevail in shaping the grammar, and newcomer language, the paternal stream, will denote the vocabulary. It is never quite that simple. There are many instances in India and elsewhere in the world of grammatical structure leaking from the paternal side also. Harbir Kaur Haraura, a native speaker of Dakhini from Hyderabad, in her PhD dissertation titled Syntactic Convergence, the case of Dakhini, Hindi, Urdu. She examines a number of sentences in Dakhini that are framed differently from their equivalent in standard Hindi and Urdu. They line up perfectly with the equivalent sentences in Telugu. So in Dakhini and Telugu, the meaning of a sentence, I give one meaning. The meaning of a sentence is ask who said it. This is a sentence. How it appears in Dakhini and Telugu. Let us see. In Dakhini, kaun, who? Bolo ki. Usku, each, cho. Kaun means who. Telugu, in Telugu, evaru. In English, who, evaru. Evaru means Tamil la yar, evaru nu sollu. Ena yar, evaru. Being a Dravidian language, Telugu and Tamil share these words. Yar, evaru. Brinal Tamil la yar da. Telugu li evaru. Evaru nu solra. Who. So annaru said, oh, vadani, adugu, adugu na ked. Adugu, adugandi, adugu, ked. Aduguna, Telugu aduguna, ked. So ask. So in these sentences, the meaning of this sentence is ask the person who said it. In Dakhini, Bolo ki said, yaar sonnanga. In Telugu, Annaru O. The Dagini key which looks outwardly like a North Indian word. இந்தியில் மேரா கோ அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். இந்த கே இருக்குல்ல, இது வந்து பீங் நார்த் இந்தியன் லாங்குவேஜ் சவுத் இந்தியன் லாங்குவேஜில் ஒன்றா தோன்றினாலும் கூட இந்த கே என்பது தி தகினி key which looks outwardly like a North Indian word, it is actually a call that stands for the Telugu O. So Arara calls it a relative linker. இந்தியில் கோ என்று வருது, தகினியில் கீ என்று வருது. இந்த கே என்பது கலோ, கால் ஃப்ரம் தெலுங்கு. இதில் இப்போ இதே சென்டென்ஸ் இந்த ஆஸ் த பர்சன் ஹூ செட் இட் என்பது எப்படி இந்தியிலையும் உருதுலையும் வருது அப்படின்னு பார்ப்போம். Now here's the same sentence in the Hindi and Urdu. Hindi Urdu, asko to him, asko. Pucho, ask. Pucho means ask. Jisne, who. Ya, this, kaha, said. So verb கடைசியில் வருது. Ask in the subject முன்னாடி வருது. Ask who, whoங்கிறது subject. இங்கே வந்து ask the person who said it தான் the meaning of the sentence. இது வந்து தஹனியில் ஒரு மாதிரியாகவும் ஹிந்தி ஊரில் ஒரு மாதிரியாகவும் வருது. தஹனியில் என்ன ஆர்டரில் வருதோ, தி ஆர்டர் ஆஃப் தி கிளாஸஸ் இன் நார்த் இந்தியன் ஹிந்து உருது இஸ் எ கம்ப்ளீட் ரிவர்ஸ் ஆஃப் தி ஆர்டர் இன் தி தஹனி அண்ட் தெலுங்கு சென்டென்சஸ். தெலுங்கு தஹனியில் உள்ள ஆர்டர் அப்படியே நேர்மாறாக ஹிந்தி உருதுல இருக்கு. இதுதான் நம்ம இதில் நோட் பண்ணுறோம். ஆல்சோ மிஸ்ஸிங் இஸ் தி வெரி சவுத் இண்டியன் கீ ஓ இன் தெலுங்கு. ஸோ இதுதான் அங்கே இந்த நம்ம பார்க்குறோம். மிஸ்ஸிங் கீ என்பது தகினியில் இருக்குது. இது தெலுங்குல இருக்கக்கூடிய கரஸ்பாண்டிங் வேர்டு வந்து ஓ. இட் இஸ் கால்ட் அரோராஸ் ரிலேட்டிவ் லிங்கர். திஸ் பேட்டர்ன் அண்ட் சேம்னஸ் பிட்வீன் தகினி அண்ட் தெலுங்கு அப்பியர் எகைன் அண்ட் எகைன். A characteristic way in the zone. There is a characteristic way. The Twilight zone mixes Northern and Dravidian classes, keeping the essence of the Dravidian marker O, but dressing it up in the K colors of the North. இப்போ நார்த்தில் அந்த கே கீ கோன்னு சொல்கிறோம். இதில் திராவிடனில் ஓ வருது. எனவே அந்த லிங்கர், இதை வந்து லிங்கர் அப்படின்னு அவங்க சொல்கிறாங்க. அரோராஸ் லிங்கர். Another point is the ergativity. The iconic feature that demarcates the north from south and west from east in the subcontinent is ergativity. This is an aerial feature found in all northwest with minor variations in the languages of Pakistan, Punjabi, Hindu, Hindi, Baluchi, Pashto, and in all the languages and dialects of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and in all the Hindi family as far east Ganga, Jamuna confluences. Ergativity is found only in past tense. What is ergativity? Ergativity is found only in past tense. The past tense sentences don't have I saw a man, or I ate my food, like English. In English, we say I saw a man, I ate lunch, like that. So this ergativity is found only in the past tense sentences. Or in the languages of East and South, it is not there. There is a twist where the subject becomes just an agent, an object that agrees with the verb. That is food eaten. The subject is missing. Food eaten. Picture scene. இதை வந்து நம்ம தமிழில் சொல்லணும்னு சொன்னால், கம்பராமாயணத்தில் கண்டேன் சீதையை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவார். அதில் நான் யார் கண்டான்னு சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க, நான் கண்டேன் சீதையை என்று சொல்லுவாங்களே. அதே போல் அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் இஸ் மிஸ்ஸிங். தி சப்ஜெக்ட் பிகம்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அன் ஏஜென்ட், தி ஆப்ஜெக்ட் தட் அக்ரீஸ் வித் வர்ப், தட் இஸ் பை மீ, இட் மீன்ஸ் பை மீ. ஸோ ஹைப்ரிட் Jahani like a good South Indian language. No doubt it is a South Indian language, but it does not have a ergativity, but it does have grammatical gender, not only on verb endings, but also in adjectives too. The old languages of East and South are without ergativity and also do not have grammatical gender. So the Dravidian languages, no ergativity, no grammatical gender. Now here is a hybrid, that is Deccan language, with gender but no ergativity. So we are truly in Twilight zone. So that in Dakhini, this is the word comes from Deccani. This Deccani language has features of Urdu, as well as Telugu, Kannada, and Marathi. So the new model proposed by Peggy Mohan. In this new model, it is sharply different from Pidgin Creole model. How? Here, there is no Pidgin at all. The variety close to the language of the migrants is the one that appears first. But in old Pidgin Creole model, the first thing to appear is supposed to be a Pidgin, followed soon by a Creole, that is native speakers. The variety closest to the language of the original migrants, the acrolect, is supposed to emerge last, as Creole features are gradually lost. So in a nutshell, the important point to mention in this chapter, it is the story of powerful migrant groups entering new territory, settling down and marrying with local women. It is also separately the story of little people of the area suddenly finding a new environment and new options and approaching a new elite languages, bringing them the mindset of their old languages. The new model proposed by Peggy Mohan is sharply different from the Pidgin Creole model. Here, the variety close to the language of the migrants is one that appears first. The variety closest to the language of the original migrant, the acrolect, is supposed to emerge last, as Creole features are gradually lost. Dakhini does not have ergativity like a good South Indian language, but it does have grammatical gender, like a North Indian language. Now here comes a hybrid, so with gender but no ergativity. We are truly in a Twilight zone. The first chapter la Pidgin Creole model அதை சொன்னாங்க. Pidgin என்பது கடலில் வந்த கடற்பயணத்தார்கள். இவங்க ஹவாய் தீவில் வந்து இருந்து அவங்க ட்ரேட் காலனிஸில் இருந்தாங்க. தேவர் ஒன்லி மென், அவங்க வந்து ஆண்கள் மட்டும்தான் இருந்தாங்க. அவங்க பேசிய மொழி ஸ்டிரைல். அவங்க வந்து அப்பப்போ அவங்களுடைய சொந்த ஊருக்கு போனாங்க, சொந்த குடும்பங்களோடு இருந்தார்கள், பிறகு வந்தார்கள். எனவே அவருடைய மொழி வந்து பரவலை, அப்படியே ஸ்டிரைல் ஆகிட்டு. ஆனால் அதற்கு பிற்பாடு வந்த ஆங்கிலம், கிரையோல் என்பது மிக்சட் லாங்குவேஜ், இங்கிலீஷ் வித் இன் கம்பினேஷன் வித் அதர் யூரோப்பியன் லாங்குவேஜஸ், போர்ச், டச், ஃப்ரெஞ்ச், லைக் தே மிக்ஸ்டு டுகெதர். கடைசியாக கிரையோல் தான் நின்றுச்சு. ஆனால் இங்கே வந்து இந்தியாவில் இந்த தெஹானியில் என்ன மொழின்னா உருது இன் காம்பினேஷன் வித் மராத்தி, தெலுங்கு and Kannada. They all mixed together. This is what happens in Dakhini. This is what is explained by Peggy Mohan. In particular, in South, the interesting point, what she mentioned about the Muslim community. In Dakhini speaking Muslims, speaking Muslims are from the North people. Their ancestors were from Sultanate region. But the other group, they were traders. They were settling in the coastal area. They are once Arab traders. They trade with Arab countries. So they were the first converted Islam in India, Muslims in India. This is an interesting fact. Two type of Muslims, one Tamil speaking Muslim in Tamil Nadu, another Deccan speaking Muslims in Tamil Nadu. This is an interesting fact she mentioned about the Muslims in Tamil Nadu. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. So now we'll move to the Q&A session. This will be moderated by Alagiriswamy. If you have any questions.
Now the floor is open for questions and comments. After that, we can open it up for comments. First questions. We can stop the screen sharing, I think.
So if there are any comments or questions.
I don't know if she is introducing a new model in the second chapter. Probably the way I understood this, she's trying to add more evidence to the same model that she is proposing in chapter 1. And in chapter 1 itself, though the Peggy model is, I think the way I understood is, she portrays how the Peggy model classically is. Sorry, I think I should turn on my video. So she introduces the classical creolization model, including the Peggy, and then she brings in this new professor's argument saying that there does not need to be a Peggy for all the Creole creations, and hence we could look at the the Indo-Aryan language formations in a non-Peggy version of creolization. So that's her theory, and that's what she's trying to add more examples of in the forthcoming chapters, is my understanding. I don't know what others feel. It's not really you can think of it as a question too. So I would like to hear from others who have read both the chapters. Is she proposing a completely new model here in chapter 2, or is it a continuation of chapter 1?
But, my understanding is she starts the same between Carol model, but that doesn't fit here because it's all like migrations. There is no bidding for Deccan per se, right? Because it's
Correct.
it's the Sultanates, they move towards the south, so they had a purpose.
Yes.
And even before, she accounts for this, right? So even before the Sultanates moved to the Deccan, there were Sufis who had come to Deccan.
Correct.
So the
Yeah, the
Sufis had
artisans.
brought in the language much before than the Sultanates.
Mhm.
And when the Sultanates came, maybe there has been a conversion. This is what she is quoting. The Islamic conversion has taken place, and that has given more room for opting this language or evolution of this language, because the people who are converted to Islam were the Telugu speaking people. So they
Yeah. So you're right. So what I'm trying to say is, in chapter 1, what she says is the standard classical creolization happens only after a Pidgin arrival or a formation of a Pidgin. But
that
she
is true for
counters that,
Dravidian.
saying that not all creolization has to happen like that. And that's the model that she wants to apply to the Indian subcontinent without a Pidgin, which actually fits the Dakini model. So it is creolization, but without Pidgins. And that's something that she wants to bring forward, and saying it's a non-standard way of creolization or theoretical creolization that has existed so far in the Caribbean. So she's trying to come up with a new model of creolization without Pidgins that
Yes.
can be applied to subcontinent.
Yeah, I also understand it, Vagisan. I also understand it in the same way. Like first chapter, she introduced this pigeon and then go for the Creole model. But here it looks like directly because
Creole.
of their native language of Telugu,
Yes.
Marathi, Kannada, they have practiced, and they were started just utilizing the other language and combine it and then form directly a Creole language. So
there was
that's what
no
she,
temporal language in between,
Yeah.
which is the Pidgin model that originally everybody has in the Caribbean context.
Yes.
So she wants to drop that Pidgin model and pick up straight creolization in the subcontinent.
Because the people, maybe what I understand from this one is like the people are not having father is different and mother is different kind of thing. They are the same
Correct.
people.
Correct.
They have
Yeah.
been adopting a new religion as well as the language which is came with the religion, so they could able to use that as a direct transformation, a Creole language as Deccan.
Correct.
This is what.
If we
Correct.
want to
Okay, let
relate
me,
to the chapter 1, right? The little people over here in this, when she talks about the Dakkani language, the little people are all the local Telugu speaking families majority. So
Yeah.
that's why the Carol becomes more dominant and prevalent than there is no pidgin per se there.
Correct.
okay,
Correct.
let me ask this, particularly since there are people who might be familiar with Sinhalese. I'm curious. Sinhalese probably follows the Dakni model pretty closely. There were a few minor migrants from the north who brought a different language, different culture, perhaps even a different religion. And most of the people who are today Sinhalese speaking, uh, most of their genetics is closer to the South Indian than the North Indian. And yet they speak more or less an Indo-Aryan language with a mix of Tamil and other Dravidian languages. Does the Dakni model apply to Sinhalese?
Yes,
I don't know Sinhalese, so I don't know.
let me comment on that. So I do speak Sinhalese a little bit. So I'm from
Okay.
Sri Lanka. So I did look into this, and this is one of the areas. This is why I'm very much interested in the linguistics area. So I did go a little further and look into some amount of how Sinhalese varies in the Indo-Aryan languages. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but these two elements that she is mentioning, or these two features that she is mentioning in this chapter, ergavity and gender, they're both dropped in Sinhala, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just the vocabulary, and the entire grammar is coming from the Dravidian roots. So I'm yet to explore on that, but unfortunately, there is no chapter on Sinhalese. If we have time, maybe I can look into that at the end of my presentation. But it is an area of interest for sure.
We can probably
would
raise
urge
that
you to-
question to her.
I
Yes,
would
for
urge
sure.
you to look into that, because I think you made a very important statement. Because her theory of Creole is structure is native language, the words are incoming words. And I think you're suggesting Sinhalese is of that type. If it is, please explore when you do your part and share your insights at the time. That'll be, because she doesn't get into the topic area at
Yes,
all.
yes, yes.
Right.
Even in her first book, I remember something like this in her first book. Okay, let me see whether it is available. Otherwise, we have Vagisan to talk about it.
Other questions?
Yeah, there is another book called Indo-Aryan Languages, a research book put out by Routledge Publication. I'll try to find out if I can get a hold of that. That includes a chapter on Sinhalese. So I may be able to get deeper into that. I'll look into that. And I do understand Sinhalese, so I'll be able to understand the sentences and how they connect and all. So
What is the
I'll bring some color to
orthodox?
that.
What is the orthodox linguist perspective on how Sinhalese evolved?
The orthodox view is with Pali, the Prakrit itself. What do you call the Upper Brahmsi languages? When they started evolving, Sinhalese evolved or branched out very early. So it's very much like if you take the Dravidian roots and Dravidian tree structure, how everyone says that Telugu emerged or diverged separately earlier on, is the same thing applied to Sinhalese in the Prakrit tree. So that's why the North Indian Prakrit tree is quite different to the Sinhalese way of language formation and the language structures. So that's the orthodox view. And there is an intermediate language which they call Elu, E-L-L-U, which might have been the predecessor to Sinhalese, the current form of Sinhalese. And there are commonalities between Elu and Proto-Dravidian and all that. So there is more onto that. I haven't really gone into that, but I have just touched the surface of it. So Elu is something to be cognizant of when you come across linguistic material. And interesting fact is the word Lanka is, if I'm not mistaken, of Munda origin, not Urdu, not Prakrit, not Sanskrit, not Sinhalese or Tamil. So it's a mix. So it's an interesting phenomena.
That's
How does
interesting.
it relate?
That seemed to
Okay.
suggest the migrants were from East Coast, not from the West Coast. Looks
Probably,
like.
yes. And we have, I mean, in Sri Lanka, we had a lot of influence from the East. Vijayan arrived from the East. The so-called Sinhalese creator of the island. He was chased away by his dad, a so-called king, and all that. So Kaling, and then there was a invasion that happened, Kalinga Mohan, also from the East. So there is a lot of influence from the East into Sri Lanka for sure.
How about the language of Maldives? That's also
I have
related
no
to,
idea.
but that's related to Sinhalese. And I don't know
I don't
whether
know.
they
I don't know.
migrate. Yeah, that okay.
Can
we'll
we
find
come
out.
back to the main point of the second chapter, please?
Yeah, sure.
Other questions for the speaker? Any comments? Everybody follows the arguments that was made. That is, the grammatical features remain foundational. It's only the words change. That is what creolization means. And of course, in the context of Deccan, there were only settlers. There were no direct traders like in the Trinidadian or the Jamaican concept. There were traders. They didn't settle, but there were also people who settled. And of course, the Creole is the second stage of development. And I think the Deccan is the direct creolization rather than the two-step process of pidgin to creolization. But a very important concept he covered was ergative. It is a term that I wasn't familiar with. Does everybody understand that? I try to create a few examples so that I could point out
Please
the
go ahead.
features.
Yeah. I'm still a little. I did look into that. It is only on the past tense, I believe, but the noun change is happening and nothing else is happening. Only on the past tense. That's very peculiar.
It's a very unique feature of Indo-Aryan languages, and it's absolutely not present in the Dravidian languages. So it's an interesting feature to learn because this is a foreign concept as far if you're a Tamil speaker or Telugu speaker, or not Telugu, maybe a little bit on the other side, Malayalam, it'll be a slide. So I prepared a couple of slides with Alagirisamy. I will share this. So you might be able to see this. Continue to share. You can see this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. For example, verbs come in transitive and intransitive form. Transitive is when the verb actually works on the object, right? And intransitive is there is no direct connection. In the intransitive, Ram came, Ram aya, in Hindi, of course, Avan Vandan or Ram Vandan. There is no difference between the Tamil and Hindi version. Now, when you go to the transitive version where the verb acts on the object, if you will, that is how I think about it. Ram ate fruit. In Tamil, Avan Parathai Sapitan, right? But in Hindi, it is the subject. Ram gets changed. Ramne Fal Kaya. Now, this is very unique to the Indo-Aryan languages where the subject gets modified whenever you deal with a transitive verb that acts upon it. And of course, this is what is called Ramne, is known as the ergative. Now, in Tamil, we don't have this at all. Dravidian languages don't have this feature at all. But of course, the Twilight Zone, Peggy Mohan talks about, is a blend of the two. You not only have words falling, but also grammar not fully flowing in, but partially flowing in. I think I have another slide. Yeah. Here, you get into the past tense, right? The intransitive, there is no particular interest. Transitive past is Ram ate fruit, Ram ne phal khaya, which I showed before. Avan parathai sapitan, Ram parathai sapitan. Intransitive, Ram comes, Ram ata hai, Avan varihiran. There is no difference. Transitive present, Ram eats fruit, Ram phal kata hai, Avan parathai sapidigaran. No issue. It is only in the case of past transitive verbs that we have this ergativity sets in. The one that is highlighted that I have that in is with ne, which is in red color, is to highlight that particular difference. Of course, in Tamil there is no difference among them, but when you go to Hindi, in Indo-Aryan language, you see this particular feature. This is what the author calls as ergative. Most of us, if you're a Tamil speaker, you probably did not attend to this case because it was never part of your Tamil teaching, right? So it's a little foreign concept worthwhile seeing. So in Hindi, ergative in past tense for transitive verbs. Tamil, there is no ergativity at all. In English, there is no ergativity at all. Subject remains unchanged altogether. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I
Now,
have
this is pardon?
She talks about, Peggy talks about by me, like the inference, like it is inferred. I ate the fruit or fruit eaten. So that is, we can derive that some, it is, she adds this by, done by me arguments. What is that with respect to equality?
That needs to be explored. But she also makes a very important point right at the beginning. In Dravidian languages, we sometimes don't give importance to verb. You cannot have an English sentence without a verb. But in Tamil, you can have a sentence, complete meaningful sentence without a verb. Idu maram. There's no verb there. Idu nool. There is no verb there. So you can communicate without a verb in Tamil, but you cannot in Hindi or in Sanskrit or in English or in German. So that's an important distinction she makes in the first couple of pages of chapter 2. But she doesn't build upon that. But she goes into the aspect that you speak about. Do you want to elaborate on that, Bama?
No, I didn't understand fully. That's why I had asked you in the morning to talk about it more. Maybe if
She
shall I
makes
come
another
in?
important point on page 4 or 5, I think, which is here, I think. பழத்தை வெட்ட பயன்படுத்திய கத்தி மிக கூர்மையாக உள்ளது. I changed it a little bit to suit my Tamil. The knife that was used to cut the fruit is very sharp. She makes the point, the first 4 words carry in a very compact way, a very meaningful set of information. On the other hand, if you go into Hindi, you need many artificial constructs. I have elaborated this using the platforms that's available to us. For example, key differences, case marking. Hindi marks relations with postpositions, ke liye. Tamil uses inflectional suffixes. This is very important distinction between Dravidian languages and Indo-Aryan languages. And then gender. In Tamil, we don't worry about the verb going through any changes due to gender of the object, but in Hindi it does. And in Sanskrit it does, in German it does, in English it does not at all. It completely drops it off. So there is almost a valley in European country of verbs having to agree with the gender of the object. Verbs go through modifications based upon the object. On the other hand, adjectives also do, but in Tamil we don't do that, right? It remains the same. The Hindi reflects
Small
traits.
question here. Is it the verb or the noun that you mean for the gender? Because I think in Tamil we have gender for verbs when we have the pal, tunai, adallam berekla, so we have that.
Right, for verbs,
Probably
not
for the
for
noun.
adjectives.
Yes,
Not for
correct.
adjectives.
Right, not for adjectives. Correct.
What's that?
So the
The
gender markings.
aval, avan
Padikkan,
vandan,
padikal, but
yeah, aval vandal. So the verb goes through change due to gender.
Correct.
And that is also the case in all languages, but particularly in English, there is no change. She came, he came.
Same.
But in Sanskrit and Hindi, you will see a change in the verb based upon the gender of the subject. But of course, in Hindi and Sanskrit, every object has a gender. Train has a gender, river has a gender, but in Tamil,
Yes.
those things don't have a gender. And so it's a simplified gender rule in Dravidian languages.
So akaranaki pal illa Tamil. That's the exact difference. So in Hindi and all the Indo-Aryan languages, inanimate non உயிருள்ள பொருட்களுக்கும் பால் இருக்குது. Same with French. But in
Right.
Tamil, only உயர்திணைக்கு மட்டும்தான் பால் இருக்குது.
That's
the
correct.
biggest
Same as in English.
Yes.
And German is also, German has gender for everything. The train, I think, is die Zug, right? And der Mann and der Frau, die Frau, and the adjective gets modified, and also the verb gets modified, right? Okay. Those are the 2 points I wanted to make because it was confusing to me because it was new to me when I was reading this. I thought the best way to work this out was using an example.
is it always name with the noun or it can be other post question? So syllables. Like the ergativity, the example you showed earlier, Ramne Fal Kaya.
Full
So
kaya.
Right.
This is always nay or can be some other post position as well.
I know only very rudimentary Hindi, and I'm using Google Translation platform to make these slides. So, who is a good Hindi speaker here in the platform?
Nayantara, are you familiar? Geeta ma'am, you are familiar, right?
Yeah,
Bombay.
I know Hindi. I mean, I can't say I'm an expert, but I have learned Hindi at school level. But we also say Ram Fal Khaya.
Grammatically incorrect according to
That is
Google
grammatically
Translate.
incorrect. It is
Ram
always
ne
Ram.
fal khaya.
Ram ne Fal Khaya.
Ama.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Nay, oh, okay.
And the ne vandurum adula.
And incidentally, in Telugu, we say Ramudu Pandu Tinnadu. We don't, I mean, there's no ne equivalent in Telugu.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. The Dravidian languages, the subject don't go through modifications, but in Indo-Aryan languages, they go through modifications
Yeah.
when you use a transitive verb.
And what Mr. Alagirisamy, I mean, the points that he made out of the book about Dakhini, because I'm from Hyderabad, I'd never noticed it before, but as the presentation was going on, I did realize that there were some points to what Peggy Mohan has written in the book.
Yeah.
That Hyderabadi Urdu is an amalgam, seems to be an amalgam of Telugu and Urdu.
And Urdu. See,
Yeah,
that is
there
the
are
point
quite
she
a few-
made.
There are quite a few Telugu words in that. Maine nakko bol diya. They talk about the especially the local Telugu speakers. Maine nakko bol di. Something, things like that.
I think that is what she is coming with Dakkini. The word,
Right.
the Dakkini itself is, I feel like what Geeta ma'am says,
Yes.
the Telugu and the Urdu combined together, and then it is that's what she means, Dakkini.
Right.
That's how I understand it actually.
Yeah. And the number of people who speak this would have diminished a lot, right? இப்போ வந்து அவ்வளோ ஜனங்க இருக்க மாட்டாங்கல்ல இந்த மாதிரி பேசுறவங்க.
I don't think so, ma'am. Still is what from this one, what I understand from Peggy Mohan is like she takes this whole phenomena from a village type girls who comes and stay over the vacation of the university, means like it is from the maybe I feel like it is deeper set of people only maybe using this one. Because once,
Sir, if I may interrupt,
please.
I find even nobility of Hyderabad, if I may use that word, that is, families which claim that they have their descendants of Persian nobles who came at the invitation of this thing. They speak the same language. They don't speak Urdu as Urdu was maybe when they first came. They also speak this
Dakkini.
Nakko and Nakko and usne Bolach and etc.
After reading this book, if you have started looking at the languages, what we hear from the people, and then very, very few words we hear, and that everywhere. Now I started looking into that. It is a Creole or Pidgin or this Dakkini kind of thing maybe.
I think Dakkini is more a Creole than a Pidgin, because they do. They use it like they change the words in the Telugu.
Yeah.
This also prompts me to look at how Anglo-Indians spoke Tamil and English, and how we modern Tamil speak or mangle Tanglish or in Tamil or whatever you call it. We mangle English and also Tamil. There are enormous influences of all these languages, and we are probably witnessing the evolution of a new Creole.
I know one more information, Mani. In North Arcot district, the old North Arcot district, I heard from some of them, they write Tamil in Urdu script. If you read that one, it is Tamil, but they use the Urdu script. I thought of going back again there and then search for the people who do
please,
that, the old people.
Yeah, please verify that, because I know that Arabic, they actually wrote the Quran
maybe Arabic
in Tamil script. No, not Arabic script. No, they use Tamil script to write Quran. Okay, with modified Tamil. That was in Ramanathapuram district.
Maybe these things may be there. If you have the time and people to know, then we should know this one. Because I know that this may be Urdu script or Arabic script, this one. Somebody told or somebody spoke about it. We need to look into those things. Like this book makes us to think on those diversified learning of how the language evolved and words are evolved, some kind of thing actually.
That is good, because that is really the purpose of this type of a gathering, to stimulate our thinking so that we could explore on our own. I just want to point this, I think I made this point last time. It's not uncommon in Tamil Nadu somebody to come and tell you, what is your good name, sir? Right? Good, the adjective good. I after that, I traced it back. Apparently, it is a tradition that came from North. And it is not uncommon with Urdu speakers to use that adjective, good name. I can trace it back and post it to our group. So what is your good name, sir, is literal translation of a Urdu speaker into Tamil.
Aapka shubh naam kya hai?
In Hindi also you say Aapka shubh naam.
Yeah, in Tamil you'd never say that. Unga per enna? What's your name? That's it, right? In English you'd say, what's your name? So the adjective good has a cultural trait. That is, it's not only language, there is a cultural element in it, right?
Exactly.
Same way, Raj, also if you see the word, we say a big thank you to somebody, in English. So இப்போ தமிழ்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னாக்க நம்ம ஊர்ல எல்லாருமே ஒரு பெரிய நன்றியை சொல்லுங்கள்
மிக்க
பெரிய
நன்றி.
கைத்தட்டலே மிக்க
Literal
நன்றி
மிக்க
translation.
நன்றின்னு
ஆமா.
சொல்லுவோம்ல.
But
மிக்க
literal
நன்றின்னு
translation
சொல்றோம்.
வந்து no, but இங்கிலீஷ்ல வந்து big thank you, a big thanks to somebody அப்படின்றத வந்து நம்ம ஊர்ல வந்து even compeers when they talk they say that ஒரு பெரிய பலத்த கைத்தட்டலை கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றதுக்கு பதிலா ஒரு பெரிய கைத்தட்டலை கொடுங்க, ஒரு பெரிய நன்றியை சொல்லிக்கிறோம் அப்படின்றாங்க. ஏன்னா it's a literal translation of what you hear in English.
It's a literal translation of English. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
அவங்க கூகுள் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் யூஸ் பண்ணி பேசுவாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் மேடம். உண்மையிலேயே தமிழ் பேசிட்டு இருக்கிறவங்களா இருந்தா மிக்க நன்றி தான் நம்ம சொல்லி பழக்கப்பட்டிருக்கோம்.
ஆமா ஆமா
இல்லையா? என்னைக்குமே பெரிய நன்றி அப்படின்ற ஒரு
பெரிய
வார்த்தையை நம்ம
நன்றின்னு சொல்ல
கேள்விப்பட்டதே
மாட்டோம்.
கிடையாது.
ஆமா
தமிழ்ல
கிடையாது.
பெரிய நன்றி எல்லாம் கிடையாது.
This must be the new generation.
New generation, the Gen Z language, you know, they've got a separate vocabulary. In fact,
It is
my
a-
chapter,
it's a-
I'm going to be, mine is the 4th chapter in the book, and I'm actually going to touch upon the Gen Z vocabulary that they are using in English and in Tamil a little bit, just to understand this whole evolution of languages.
Gen Alpha, Gen Beta.
அவ்வளவு தூரம்லாம் தெரியாது.
The Gen Z is going into a different trajectory completely. தலை சுத்திடும்.
இல்ல அவங்க
Kind of words
இங்கிலீஷ்ல
they use. This
இல்ல
is
அவங்க
sick. அப்படின்னா, oh, that's sick. அப்படின்னா, sick is supposed to be something very great. So,
Great.
yes. And
இன்னமும் என்னால வந்து தமிழ வந்து ஆங்கிலத்துல எழுதிட்டு இருக்கிறத நானும் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிச்சு பார்த்துட்டேன். என்னால அது படிக்கவே வரமாட்டேங்குது எனக்கு. அது நானும் என்னென்னவோ பண்ணி பார்த்துட்டேன். படிச்சு பார்த்தா என்ன நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா, NALLA, ஓ மை காட், ஐ சே தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச். முடிஞ்சதுன்னா தமிழ்ல சொல்லுங்க, இல்லைன்னா நீங்க இங்கிலீஷ்ல சொல்லுங்க, கையெடுத்து கும்பிட்றேன், என்னை விட்டுருங்க, இந்த சென்டென்ஸுக்கு நான் வரலன்னு. ஆனா ஒரு பெரிய குரூப் வந்து தமிழை இங்கிலீஷ்ல எழுதிக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
Google transliteration can help you. It does a pretty decent job. But anyway, any other comments? Any other thoughts?
Sir, Alagirisamy sir did a very, very good, review about the chapter, and he could able to bring the real what is Tagni means, and he really did a very short and sweet about the chapter. Also, like, it makes us to go back to the chapter and read something more. What he has touched upon, and then what is could have been more there in the chapter. Thank you very much, Alagirisamy sir. நன்றி.
தேங்க்ஸ்.
அதே போல அவரு கம்பராமாயணத்துல இருந்து அவங்க கண்டேன் சீதையேன்னு கொடுத்த எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. அது உடனே டக்குன்னு புரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு முடிஞ்சிச்சு. அதனால ரொம்ப நன்றிங்க.
But one thing we must be cautious in poetry, you don't have to follow the structural grammar. Poetry has a liberal grammar. You don't have to have a subject at all. That means we cannot, strictly speaking, for a language, quote poetry, right? Because that's one of the advantages of poetry, to be able to communicate without the boundaries and structural constraints of grammar.
Yes, Raj, but I think this particular phrase, Kande Side, is pretty much used by a lot of people to explain that things can be told without much explanation. You know, just go to the point. You just say this, and like Anumar sonna madri, Kande Side, like that, you are precise to the point.
What the listener is expecting, what the listener wants to hear. You know, this is one of the very important rule of the communication, is like what you are intent to communicate, what you want to transfer to the communicatee. So those things are then very much explained with this terminology. The two words gives the thing, that whole story of so much of travel and coming back, and then giving him that. So that makes the big difference on that.
That is the power of poetry, not prose.
And usage of keywords. And usage of keywords.
Yeah. So that is equivalent to several pages of description theory with a single formula, E equal to MC squared. But to derive that relationship, you spend many pages, right? So நீங்க சீதை கண்டன்றது இது வந்து it's equal to MC squared. But the derivation of it is a more complex process. But anyway, Shall we bring to a conclusion?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we are past time.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Baman, நீங்க உங்களுடைய கடமை.
சரி, அனைவருக்கும் நன்றின்னு ஒரே வார்த்தையில சொல்லி முடிச்சலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Because everyone has heartfeltly spoken in this session. So, just to be, let me make a formal conclusion. So, thank you, Mr. Alagiriswamy. Like, you have been so patient in making the slides. Actually, he is so enthusiastic. Yesterday itself, he sent the slides. He asked me to verify whether it is whether I am able to view it right. And also, he was very particular in sending all his profile information. So, you're so enthusiastic. I can see the enthusiasm starting yesterday itself. So, and done a very fabulous job. Thank you, Ayab, for bringing the important points of the Deccani language and make us understand how this language was formed. And then, thanks to RMRL, we wanted to live stream this session, but unfortunately, due to some technical problems, we couldn't live stream, but they had helped us to record. So thanks to Ranjit. And thanks to all the participants who have been here. Like, I think we had a very good session because it's not only listening, it's also sharing our thoughts, sharing the knowledge what we have. So it has been a wonderful session in the sense of exchanging information. So thank you all. We'll meet next week. Next week will be by Mr. Mani Manivannan. He'll be talking about the language of IVC. I suppose I don't remember the title exactly, but it's chapter 3. Ergavity is what I vaguely remember. So, but let's wait. Let's all listen to him next Saturday, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. same time. So till then, bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. வந்துட்டீங்களா ஐயா? நீங்க மியூட்ல இருக்கீங்க.